in a selfless way, the first question you should always be asking is, what can I offer this person? This person I'm about to approach, this person I'm about to hit up, this person just accepted my network request, or this person I'm going to send a private message to, or an email when Bradley's getting 350 a day, and this one's coming in unsolicited. What can I offer him? Even if it's a compliment on something he's done, or something I've done, or or a suggestion, or whatever. It's still something that shows that you put in the time to think about your approach. And to me, everything in this business and everything in life, in my opinion, is about approach.
Well, I'm going to add to that, because I always say write something clever or funny or interesting and then ask them to a coffee or drinks, right? And that's not so that you can now email me and try that, because it's not going to work. But the point is, you have to think like that. You can't just send your whole project list and why you're great. You have to do something really interesting, like, hey, can I take you to Chuck E. Cheese? Like, that's so fucking random. I would be like, what the? This is fucking hilarious. Yeah, let's go to Chuck E. Cheese. You know what I mean? I'm making that up, but it's like, that's outside the box. That's something they haven't read or seen before. And then just talk over. Can I take 15 minutes of you in your office? I'll come to you. I just want to talk to you for 15 minutes. You know that 15 minutes is not going to be 15 minutes, but it sounds like a short time to me. So I'm like, oh, well, 15 minutes, why not? Right? So like, you got to think like that. I once wrote a cover letter to a producer. This is back in the day when I didn't even make Magic Rock yet, and I won't name his name, but he was in New York. I was in New York. I wrote him a really great cover letter. I really worked hard on it. And he wrote back and said, this is the best cover letter I've ever written. When do you want to meet? I mean, nothing came from it. I met him. We had, I got to know him. I built a little bit of a relationship with him. Today, I'm 20 years from, I know who he is. We talk, but nothing, I've never made anything with him. But imagine if I did that 250 times. You're going to build relationships. Something's going to happen. Somebody's going to connect with you, as me and RB did, right? So that's another thing. And then the last thing is, work in a company with people. So to RB's point earlier, when you need to get out of the isolation, just because you're a writer doesn't mean you have to sit in your writing. Like we have a guy here who works for us who's a story editor, and he was a writer, just sitting probably in his apartment writing, right? He is so happy to be here. Like, he's doing script coverage, but he's meeting people, he's learning things. Work in companies. Even as a writer, you can work in companies and do development or assistant development or writer's assistant or whatever. And you're around a ton of people, and you're going drinking, and you're building relationships. And as you get older and grow with that, thing, it's so much better. I mean, look, the people who have advantages over me are the people who were born and raised in the business, right? Mm-hmm. So I fight that battle every day. There's only so many relationships I can have for being here 5 or 6 years. But the guy who was born and raised, not necessarily in the business, but born and raised, let's say, in L.A., they just went to school with all of these people, so they have all these strong relationships. It's the same thing. So you're going to be behind the 8 ball, certainly going to be behind the 8 ball if you're living in Tahiti, right? I mean, you have to try to come out and do things that, if you really are passionate about this business. Okay.
Yeah, but being a virtual world, and I don't want to discourage people. Again, we said earlier.
That too. Sure.
Being a virtual world, there is a way to connect with anybody with a click of the mouse and sure. A couple of keystrokes. That's one other thing I want to say. A couple of keystrokes. Don't write War and Peace. Again, you treat the people you're writing to. Either have clients, they have projects, they have people they work with, they have their own personal emails, they have they have all their own social networks and everything else to monitor. If they see 6 paragraphs, it's not getting read. It's just not. You can be as passionate as you want to be. Again, what's your entry point? What can you offer that person something? And if you have nothing to offer them and you're just looking to maybe try to grab that meeting, then yes, the clever thing and everything like that could work. But you got to be respectful of people's time and space. And I think that, the easiest way to be respectful of people's time and space is to acknowledge the fact that you're being respectful of people's time and space and saying, I don't want to take up a lot of your time. Really enjoyed that you did this. Maybe I could, again, grab coffee for 15 minutes and pick your brain or something. That could work. But if you have something better to offer, or if you're able to even say, I see you going to work on this project, is there something I could do for free? Is there something I could do? I'll get the coffee. I just want to observe. That's not a bad approach either. It's just knowing your audience, knowing what you want.
Exploit your networks you already have. So I just realized I'm wearing my college ring, Penn State. So I explore my Penn State roots all the time. Who's in entertainment at Penn State? Well, happens to be the leader of the Studio Open Road went to Penn State. That's a big deal, man. I'm telling you. I walk in there and I say I went to Penn State. Oh, immediately starts the conversation. My master's degree is in Columbia. I've exploited that. you know, I went to a summer camp. I'm friends with a bunch of people from this summer camp. Exploit that, right? You're part of the Film Independent Group or Stage 32. Exploit that. There's all these networks you're a part of you don't even realize. Family, you know, there's a film program in Tahiti. I don't know, but exploit it.